I didn't have a sister. I had one brother,
Yeah.
and I got two boys of my own now too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so so th- I I my uncle back in the day, I
Yep.
asked him when I was in college, and I said, "Hey, what's the trick to raising kids?"
Yeah.
And he said to
Yeah.
me, "You got to ignore them. You just have to ignore them." And
Yeah.
I didn't
That's fine.
realize, I'm like, that's horrible parenting. That's horrible
Yeah.
parenting. You should not do that. But
Right.
recently, I have understood what that means. Like,
Yeah.
if you like your mom and dad, right? How close are you and your brothers in age?
My next youngest brother is 2 years
Okay.
younger than I am. So 35, I'm 37. And then Matt and Luke are twins, and they're about 6 years younger than me. So
Okay.
yeah.
So at times, I'm assuming your parents had to ignore you boys when you were at your most rambunctious just to get through the day.
Oh yeah, I know. I mean, you kind of, you think back and you obviously forget some of the stuff, and it just like all of a sudden, I've done this quite a bit the last couple of years where you're like, now I have kids, me and Paige
Mhm.
have kids, and I have a 4-year-old son and a 2-year-old daughter, but they're not really to the age where you can like forget about them,
Right,
for
right.
at least for a very long period of time. So but as my son's 4 now and he's starting to kind of, play on his own and do things on his own, it's like, I remember when, my parents used to, like you said, we lived, we actually grew up in Kansas City, but we had like it wasn't an acreage, but it was a big lot in
Mhm.
town. So it was almost like 4 or 5 lots deep. So,
Yeah,
and then there was timber back behind it, and then it went into some more like, commercial real estate. But
right.
there was times there where they just forget about it, and
Yeah,
they just let us out there. It was all fenced, but yeah, they just let us do
yeah.
our thing.
And I was reminded of that. So my work schedule throughout the day is wacko. Like I
Yeah,
work once the kids get on the bus, I'll sit after I usually make the breakfast, I get them ready for school, get them on the bus. Then right around this 8:30, 9 o'clock time frame, then I'll start working head down for quite a while until
yeah,
there's activities. And dude, it's crazy. Activities and getting kids out of school and
yeah,
getting them that starts at 2:30. Like
yeah,
it's 2:30 in the afternoon these days. And I'm like,
yeah,
what parent, unless they work in a first shift factory job, can do that? Like I'm
yeah,
lucky I'm
yeah,
able to like pick kids up and take them to their next activities. And like some
right,
of that starts as early as pick the kids up at 2:30, get them there by 3. And I'm like,
yeah.
this blows my mind. Anyway,
Yeah,
uh
no, and we're not to that point yet,
yeah,
with the ages, but I can already see it coming, like
yeah,
my brothers have actually a couple kids that are older than Easton, which is our son's name, and they're 5 and 6. So I can start to see it, in that a little
yeah,
bit. Yeah, I
yeah.
can already see the writing on the wall,
Right.
coming, you know.
And so that's like an introduction into what my evenings look like. So
Yeah,
whatever work I didn't get done at like 7 to 8 to even 9 or as long as it takes being
yeah,
self-employed, I got to get that done. So there's nights
yeah.
where I'm literally getting peppered with Nerf darts and trying to focus on working at the kitchen table to get my job done.
Yeah,
And then like, you know how boys are. It always
yeah,
starts as good, wholesome fun, and then it ends in like a riot or like a
yeah,
fist
yeah,
fight of one kid has had enough because my
right.
oldest boy doesn't know when to quit with the youngest one. Then the youngest one gets
Yeah,
pissed and he says, I doesn't want to play anymore. But then the
yeah,
second my oldest turns around, he's close range with the Nerf gun. And then
yeah.
you're like, it's over, right?
It's
It, then
over.
it, then it fight breaks out
Yeah,
and then I have to step in and it's just like, I can
yeah,
ignore him for just the right amount of time.
right. Yeah, I saw one of your stories the other night. I think it was a couple, 2, 3 nights ago where they were doing the
Oh
Nerf.
yeah.
We're in the middle of the Nerf range, or,
Yeah. The Nerf
them
war.
battling back and forth.
Yeah. And what set that one off where I had to like get kind of aggressive with my kids was
Yeah.
mom got hit with a dart.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Yeah,
once mom gets hit with a Nerf dart, good
Yeah.
night. It's just bedtime after that.
Right.
It's just
Right.
bedtime after that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
And then you're like, at least, you're like, for at least from my experience, and once you flip the switch with mom,
yeah.
you'd rather me take care of it than mom take care of it.
Exactly. Exactly. That's a
Yep.
fact. That's a fact.